All right, all access pass one-on-ones. I'm here with Tonia Smith. I'm having a terrible internet day, Tonia. So if the worst happens, you know what to do. Just hang tight your flowers and everything looks so pretty.
Do you notice my shirt matches my flowers? It wasn't intentional, but I'm thinking it works.
It does. It's very festive. So what are we working on today, my beautiful friend?
Well, this is when this opportunity came available. My mind went everywhere, but so I've kind of narrowed it down to, Cheryl and I have a partnership. We're doing the business. And so I think our biggest hang up in mine in this new adventure, like it's been going on a couple of years, but we're still trying to figure out, like, we both have our own businesses, and then we have this together. Our audience is the same. Like, I think everything is the same. So I think we're in this position where, okay, now what do we do? Like, it's almost like we need to jump in all together and that's it. Or do we continue being, showing up on our own platforms? But then how does that go of us showing up together? Like, okay. Anyway,
let me ask you a couple questions.
Okay.
Are you both promoting the same opportunity?
Well, we're doing it's our coaching, our own program. So we're not in a MLM.
Okay. Right?
I mean, if we're not promoting an MLM, I mean, we're
okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, great. So that solves one problem, because then it becomes who goes under who and who does what.
Right.
Okay. So I'm not sure I see what the challenge is. I would both of you be visible, and then I would have your work together. Because if you're bringing clients into group work or whatever, and you guys are splitting that, or whatever your financial arrangements are,
right?
I think you should have your own entities, and then you have the entity of that coaching program. And the reason why you should have your own entity, and not that this will happen, but it's like anything, it's like a marriage.
Right.
In the event that something happens, or and it's not even necessarily negative, but sometimes people's interests change, or somebody has something change in their life, you definitely want to have your own list and your own presence in the event that you guys could grow in different directions. There's a million things that could happen, and not necessarily negative. So I wouldn't just only
right. Well, that's good. That's kind of what we're doing. So then I guess that would be my next question would be how unique, so I guess each individual, because we're going to attract a little bit different audience, our
sure.
mission, our because of our personalities.
Sure.
So would we, continue kind of like we are, I'm brand myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
But keep our mission the same, the thing that we're promoting, so that it would be congruent with what we're doing, or does that matter?
Are you guys splitting? Like, are you just, it's like an equal partnership type of thing on the coaching? Then it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Because like, if you're both pushing into the same thing, it doesn't matter unless it becomes unequal, like somebody's attracting a lot more than the other.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tag and start to see where the traffic is coming from. But I think it's like, I'm me, right? I'm Diane Hockman, but I promote things that other people promote. In your case, it's just two of you, but it could be 100 or 1,000 or whatever. We work together, we all promote into that, but I still have my own person, my own personality, my own.
Yeah.
It would be like in a marriage, you may both have your own bank account and your own, whatever,
right.
friends or whatever, but then you have group friends, group, household, joint account, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not talking financial. I'm just talking about like the concept.
Yeah.
And I think part of it is you start to feel like, like bad. I don't want to outshine someone, or I don't want to be less than somebody, because it can go either way. I don't want this. And really, it's too much thinking. You both should be out scooping up as much people as humanly possible. You both should be out talking and getting on as many, podcasts or interviews or anything you can get. The more exposure you get, the better it is for both of you.
Right. And I don't think we don't really get too hung up on that, on how many, because it's an ebb and flow. There's times that she's going to be bringing a ton of people in, and then other times I will. So it's not.
As long as you guys good with that. Because
Yeah.
that's the same thing, any relationship. There's a time where one person, the woman stays home with the kids and the husband brings in the money. And then there's times where maybe the husband got laid off and the woman's bringing in the money. As long as you guys are together in effort, that's all okay. That's all okay.
So in that same context, but maybe bringing it over to me, bring it over to me. So in my marketing, so I just would brand me, I guess, the way I've been doing it. Like, and then I guess that was my other thing that I was going to ask you is, what am I doing it right? Like, can you review me?
Oh yeah, I can read because I'm saying there's a question here, but I don't know what the question is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Maybe the question is, what else should I be doing?
yeah.
Or so on.
Yes,
So
that's my next step. So
okay.
that was one question. Then I'm like, okay, but this is the thing I really
have a problem.
Yeah.
Like I seem to get along really well and
Yeah.
work really well together, etc. So, tell me about what platforms you have a presence
on. Facebook,
Mhm.
Instagram, and TikTok would be my 3 platforms. I haven't really branched into. There's a couple more, but I need to get really solid in these before I go on to Pinterest and LinkedIn. And
I don't use either one of those.
it's just like a lot to.
Good, and I know a lot of people do well with them. They just don't resonate with me, and I don't find them in my flow.
Yeah.
Other people love, like I have friends that like swear by LinkedIn,
Mhm.
and don't enjoy LinkedIn. So,
Yeah.
it's fine. Do you have your own list that you build that's yours personally?
Yes.
Okay. How many leads a week are you getting, ballpark?
Well, that's where I'm falling
Yeah.
because it's like I'm not consistent. Like some weeks I'm really diligent and I'm putting stuff out there.
Stop. Just answer the question, because you see what you're doing. You're rationalizing, or you're beating yourself up, or you're all of those things.
Yeah.
All you need to know is
The numbers.
what it is, so we can fix it.
Yeah.
You see how you do that? Because it's like some weeks I'm diligent, and some weeks
Yeah.
some weeks I'm a good girl, some weeks I'm a bad girl. You're always a good girl. We just don't have a plan. So approximately, are we talking 0 to 5? Are we talking 5 to 10? Are we talking 10 to 20?
Oh man, that's a good question because, and you're talking about leads bringing in, and you're talking about actual getting on my list.
Mhm.
Okay, so I would say if I had to like spread it out because it's inconsistent.
Sure, but it's like average the 4 weeks.
4 weeks, I would say 2 to 5 a week.
Okay,
and that's stretching it sometimes.
So first of all, that I always teach you, a lead that really loves you is better than 50 leads that are just signing up for something. Okay,
Right.
So a lead that loves you is better. So if you're generating that type of lead, it's okay, but obviously it's not enough. It's not enough. That's what we have to look at.
Because generally what the invitation is into our group. And so we have the coffee chat, which is pretty easy to get, interest, and people are excited about coming in there. And then once they're in there, they decide if they're staying or not, and like it, the vibe and all that. And from there, there's usually something to bring them to the actual email list. Okay. So, and then outside of that, then there's also that.
Do you have an email list for the coffee chat?
No, we don't.
So you just
have one. Well, what we do, that's where it's been kind of convoluted. So we both are in MLSP. So there's a lot of other moving pieces here because we're both in MLSP, and we're just kind of figured out the solution that may work for that. And we are going to create an email that's for the business. So that will be solved. But up until now, what we've done is who I bring in is mine, who she brings in is hers. Like, it's just been weird.
Yeah, because
so until
the coffee chat, this is what I would do. And I would, if you're inviting them to the group first and you're both decided to do that, you're not going to invite them to your own entity. See, if I'm marketing myself, I'm bringing them to myself first. From myself, I'm bringing them into a shared entity. Mm-hmm. This is me. But if you guys decide that you're going to bring people to the shared entity first, mm-hmm. that's okay. But you do need to, when they sign up, you do need to get an email. And I would put them into one list that promotes just the coffee chat offerings. Okay. Now, what you can do is add them manually so that you can tell who invited who, so that you know as far as, and that's what I'm asking about, because when it comes to opportunities, who's getting who, it's, this is me. I would have you guys have your own separate brands, and from your separate brands, I would invite into the chat. That's what I would do, because that way you know who belongs to who, and you also can write your lists independently. Because if you only have that, and again, I am not commenting on your working relationship. I know it's wonderful.
Oh yeah, no, we understand this realistic stuff going on.
Yeah. So if I have my own brand and she, you know, if you have your own brand and she has her own brand and you have your list, right? And you focus on that, and then from that list, you're pushing them into the
coffee chat.
Now you have some cohesiveness because you have action. Because I've seen the wackiest things happen over the years, not even with somebody's a jerk, like the group gets shut down by Facebook, or something happens in some, like me. I mean, one day I was like perfectly happy, da 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 da. The next day my husband left. I was a wreck for however long. So I wasn't pulling my weight in that type of thing, right? You never know what's going to happen, and I don't need to be negative. I would want my own list, mm-hmm. and my own offer or giveaway or something, and then inside of that, I'm telling them to come to the Facebook group, meet my partner Cheryl, where we do this together. Okay. Now both are bringing people through, but you have a way to, because right now you don't have any leverage. You just have some people in a Facebook group. If you lose that Facebook group, you don't have a list. You don't have any leverage. You don't have any protection. Facebook changes its mind on a whim. They change something. There's a million things that could happen to you. There's a million things.
Well, and that's kind of that's way we've been doing it is having our separate list. We don't, like I said, we don't really have everyone that we have. One of the questions is who invited you, right? Mm-hmm. So then we know it's whose it is. But what I'm hearing from you is we haven't really promoted our own things, branded us, and we have branded ourselves, but it's like the focus has been inviting to the group. That's been the primary thing.
Even if you just decided still that you don't even want to have your own brands and you're going to have a brand together, putting them in a group without anything other than the group is always going to be a mistake.
Right.
It could be a text list, it can be an email list, whatever you want. But if you have no way to communicate other than the group, you have to realize, let's say, how many people are in the group right
now? 230, 40, something like that.
Every time you post something in the group, there's probably only 20 people that are even seeing the post.
Right.
So you just don't have enough action. You don't have enough traction. You don't have enough control, and you don't have any leverage.
So we ask for an email to come into the group. We do ask the email. So we're collecting emails, but I feel like that but what I'm hearing from you is like, I just start I have my own lead magnet is what you're saying. I create my own list and write to that list. Oh, I'm sorry.
You collect their emails, and then what do you do with them?
In the group, then it will be one or two things. If they said that, let's say they said Cheryl was the one that invited them, then she will get the email. If they say me, I will. But if they don't say, then we both get the email. That's kind of a rule we made.
That's super confusing though, because
I know. That's why we're like, this is weird.
And now they're going on different lists that they didn't have to be on.
Yeah, it's weird. That's why
you're working kind of backwards. If you guys both have your own entities and then you drive everybody into the joined entity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you both have control of your own list, but you guys share control of the group. If the group go away, you both have your own list and people. So what you're doing is probably feels like it's easier. I'm just inviting people to a group. It feels easy and threatening. But how, again, do you want to be coached or do you want me to go gentle? Like I'm not going to.
No, don't be
I really
gentle.
think.
Be
Okay.
rough and tough. I want real.
Well, and not rough, but real. Okay. How
Okay,
long?
not rough.
Not rough. I'm never going to be rough because I love you. It's like I'm not going to be rough, but I want you to step back and look.
Okay.
How long have you guys been working at this?
We started this coffee chat group in November.
Okay. So December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, right? Because it's September. So we're at 9 months.
Mm-hmm.
And you only have 230 some odd people in the group. You got nothing going on.
I know. Well, and the thing is it's because of this like awkwardness, right? Like we don't have problems inviting people when we do, but when it's like, okay, once we get them invited, now once they're in the group, I think it goes well. But it's getting them, it's that awkward, like, how do we do this without it being weird? Just like you said, the dividing of the emails, it's just.
Now I'm going to ask you another question because I want you to think. You don't even have to answer the question. How many people, because you guys both, you don't have an MLM, but you both have a lead generation program.
And we have MLSP, of course. That's part of our.
That's what I mean. So how many people, you don't even have to answer it because I don't need you to answer it, but I want you to really think about this. How many people have either of you even put into MLSP? Not that many, correct?
Yeah, not a huge amount.
So you're creating all of this awkwardness for kind of like nothing.
Well, and it's affected our bringing people into MLSP because it's like we're still trying to, like, how do we bring them? So before we had our group, we each had our own groups that we would bring in, right? Well, we realized we're doing the same thing, and it's more fun together. Like I'm just gonna, like I wouldn't want to do this business if I wasn't doing it with her because it's a lot more fun and it makes me want to show up. But it was that was where some of the conflict started. Now we do have a group with our MLSP people that we show up every week with, but it's not growing right now because we're trying to figure out this. It's like and what you just said, we're probably approaching it all backwards.
You are, and you're overcomplicating it.
Yeah.
Do you actually sell something in that group?
In the coffee chat group?
Yes.
Yes, we do. We're actually having a 6-week boot camp next week. We're selling. We have already launched. We launched one earlier this summer, and we had a pretty good attendance. But not. I mean, it's you always want it to be better, right?
Here's the next question. Is the outcome of doing those things to create revenue, or is the outcome to sell them something else? What are you trying to do with those boot camps or whatever you guys are doing? What's the outcome?
Well, and that's so the last time we were going to we had a coaching package that we were offering, a one-on-one type program. And then we really we do better in group. We like group settings. So this one we were considering we have another plan. Like we're thinking, okay.
Stop. You're still not, you're fine. But what I'm trying to do is get you to answer the question versus going on.
I have to explain everything. Yeah.
I know, and I don't want you to. I want you to answer the question.
Okay.
The question is the outcome of the challenge to sell them something?
Yes.
Or to recruit them into MLSP? The outcome of the challenge.
Selling another, yes.
Package.
Selling, yes.
What price point are you going to sell that package at? Or what price points are you thinking about?
Yeah, that's another. So one of the, can I explain now, or do you want me to just answer?
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make you an offer. It's like, let's make a deal.
Okay.
Let's make a deal.
Okay.
We can stop this right now and rebook with you and Cheryl together and do a 2-hour intense figure this thing out together,
Okay.
or we can keep going. Because we've done
Ooh.
18 minutes, but I think you need more time. And I also think you're by yourself. And
Yeah, it's kind of hard to.
I think if the two of you were together, you'd do well. Because you know what I'm saying? Like, because your brain is trying to figure, it's like a jigsaw puzzle, and all the pieces are on the table and they're all there because you guys work beautifully together. You love working together. You do well in group. You've had some good outcomes, but you're missing pieces. But
Mhm.
you're over here by yourself trying to figure it out. And then what will happen is you'll put so many pieces together. And then because Cheryl wasn't here, she's going to want to change the pieces because that's natural.
Right.
So I don't know if she's into that or not, but she's entitled to a session.
Yeah, she is. I mean, if that, I mean, I think
So
that would be fine with me. I'm
better,
pretty sure she'd be okay with it.
you may not be able to do it until the first week of October. I don't know when you got what your time frame is on this. I might be able to fit it in. I have a quite the schedule because I'm giving everybody sessions.
Mhm.
But if you guys can come up with something and the time fits, we can do it soon. And if not, we might have to do it slightly after. But I think it would be more beneficial to spend, 2 times 100 minutes together. Oh, is she here?
Yeah. Yeah,
Here.
that's her. Yeah, she
Well,
said that'd
yeah,
be fine.
I think it's a better idea to that way we can look at it. We can draw a picture, right? We can
Mhm.
draw a picture. This is what the infrastructure, because right now I'm counseling you because you're
Right.
here. So I have to counsel you because you're my client in this moment.
Yeah.
Now, if I were with Tonya, I mean, I'm not with Tonya, with Cheryl, I'd be counseling Cheryl. But if I put you together,
Right.
I can counsel you both together.
That would be wonderful. I didn't even know if that was an option. That'd be great.
You're both entitled to a session, and I'll tell you the truth, it'll give me a second to have something to eat if we wrap now and
Yeah.
schedule, and it'll be 100 minutes, and you guys can we can draw a picture. What does it look like? What do we want it to look like? Because I
Okay.
think a lot of what's coming out of your mouth is, I want to do this together because I love Cheryl and we work well together, and I don't want to hurt her, or I don't want it to be unbalanced. I think you want to be super fair. So we have to. So my initial reaction, if I'm counseling you, is you got to make sure you protect your side of the entity. But I
Right.
give her the same advice, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So
And
now
we agree with that. We definitely agree with that.
we look at what's the best structure or flow to make sure you're both covered in the event of an emergency or something, and we make sure that this group makes sense because we
Mhm.
want the flow of revenue. If we're doing a challenge and then we have a back end offer, is there enough revenue in there for you guys? And I think you should take MLSP out of the picture, like even thinking or worrying about it, because what will happen is if you enroll people in your coaching, they're going to need tools, and then you already know who referred them.
Right.
So, and then the person, just take turns with the people that you don't know.
And
Or
that's kind of what our plan is on that.
so
Usually what
I
we
get
do.
that out of the picture. I wouldn't worry about that because that's kind of like a monkey wrench in there. I would take that out
Yeah.
of the picture, and I would just look at the flow of how are we getting people into our a group? How are we getting people into our challenge? And how are we making that offer?
Right.
What kind of revenue can we pull out of that? And there's some things that may be private you won't want to talk about in a forum like this that other people can see, but do the best you can.
Yeah.
And if you guys wanted to, if you felt I'm helpful and you want to do something private, we can, or whoever, it doesn't have to be me. But I think we can get enough done that you can get a picture in your head, because right now you just don't have a picture. It's just kind of all over the map.
Yeah. I feel like it's like we think we have a picture. I feel like we feel what we have a picture of, we have a very solid picture, but
Mhm.
there's all these other little moving pieces that just doesn't seem to, and I
And
think you hit the nail on the head. Maybe we're working backwards but
yeah,
yeah.
I think it's the overthinking a little bit. And I also think it's the love for one another, which is good. It's beautiful. It's perfect. But that whole, how do I do this without hurting, or doing that, or how do I do this? You're both
Right.
so worried about the other one that you love losing something, that you're not gaining all that you could together as a force together.
Right.
Because you're good together. You're fun together. You're good together. But you need a lot more traction, a lot more visibility. A lot.
Mhm.
A lot. And we can talk about how to get more of that. And then, because a lot of people team up and do things, and I think it's spectacular. Um, but it's a matter of that flow through, and that's where we're going to look at the logistics.
Okay.
So that's
I
what
love that idea. That would be fantastic.
Um, talk to Cheryl, shoot me some times that are potential times. I'll let you know what, like this week is a lot jammed. I'll let you know if there's time this week. And then next week, there's some spots in there. And then we're getting into like the very end of September. So I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, we could do that. I
might even be able to do it like Sunday evening. I'm going away, but I probably would be free.
Monday afternoons are really good, but next week we won't be available. But
yeah,
the 26th on a Monday, and I'm just throwing this out there.
I'm sure that's workable.
Yeah, and there may be days during the week, but I think that would be. I know because we allot time to work together on Mondays. So
Monday the 26th would be good. So figure out some times that work for you guys and time zones and stuff, and hit me back with that. And let's do that. And then I think that's the smartest thing, because sitting and trying to talk about it.
I know it's been
being together. For sure, you guys are partners. So
like everything I wanted to talk about, then I'm like, I had to inject that. I'm like, okay, how do I do this? I didn't even know how to bring this to you
guys together, and let's have a love fest, and let's look at the picture of what we want to have happen. And then the mechanics aren't going to be that hard of a deal once we know the outcome. And that's why I keep stopping you from the explanation and saying, what do you want to have happen?
Yeah.
So if I'm brusque, I don't mean to be.
It doesn't bother. Yeah, I'm good. I want you to dig, because
I want to get some clarity, because if you're in that state of trying to explain everything, you'll always be that way. You'll be that way with your prospects and your people too. And it'll keep you back and I think you guys have huge potential. So we want to get you to that place where.
Well, that's where we want to be. We see that where we're going is good, and we'd like to go to that next level.
Yeah.
And up and up.
And I think that you absolutely have that potential. And I think we all know, all three of us know that you care for each other. So nobody's going to do anything to hurt or take from someone. And then we just figure out the logistics of how to work it. But the main thing is the offers, and that's the both of you. So it doesn't matter. And then if an MLSP comes up, you'll figure that out. That's not a big deal. That's not a big deal. Okay. All right. So I'm going to leave you. Let me know if the 26th works for you, and what time of day might work for you guys, and we'll get some. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
And I'm sorry I'm blowing you off, but it win. So
it's a good thing.
All right. I'll see you all soon. I'm excited. This is wonderful.
Okay, I'm excited too.
Match your flowers and look beautiful. So.
I may not match next time, so it's all for nothing.
No, I'm sorry. I have a requirement now. You must match.
Now I have to. Okay, this is the only shirt I have to match, so I'm going to wear it again.
All right, I'll see you guys soon. Okay.
Okay. Bye-bye.